NATO's vital role in countering Russia's propaganda and disinformation in Central Asia. NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, is a military alliance that was established in 1949 to counter Soviet expansionism at the height of the Cold War. Its mission has since evolved, and today, NATO is an important player in global security. One of NATO's critical functions is to counter disinformation and propaganda, a tool that Russia has increasingly used in Central Asia to promote its interests. In this article, we will discuss NATO's role in countering Russian propaganda and disinformation in Central Asia. Propaganda and disinformation are used to spread falsehoods and manipulate public opinion. Russia has been using these tactics for years, and they have been particularly effective in Central Asia, where Russian media outlets hold significant influence. Central Asia is a region that comprises 5 former Soviet republics, namely Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, and Uzbekistan. These republics have close ties to Russia due to their common history, culture, and language. Russia's propaganda and disinformation campaign in Central Asia have included promoting its view of the world, discrediting the West, and undermining NATO's role in global security. NATO's response to Russia's propaganda and disinformation campaign in Central Asia has been multifaceted. One such response has been to increase its presence in the region. NATO has gradually increased its engagement with Central Asian states, providing financial and technical support for security programs and conducting joint exercises with regional military forces. The alliance has also established partnerships with individual countries in the region, such as Uzbekistan, to improve security and combat terrorism. In addition, NATO has been working to strengthen local media outlets in Central Asia. It has provided funding and training to journalists and media organizations to help them identify and counter disinformation and propaganda. NATO's efforts have included training local journalists in digital security and fact-checking techniques to detect and expose false information. By empowering local media outlets, NATO aims to create a more informed public, which can better resist the influence of Russian propaganda. Another essential aspect of NATO's response to Russian propaganda in Central Asia has been to promote Western values, including transparency, accountability, and freedom of the press. NATO believes that by promoting these values, it can create a more receptive environment for its message and undermine the appeal of Russian propaganda. Through its programs, NATO aims to promote democracy, transparency, and the rule of law, demonstrating that the West is a reliable partner for the Central Asian states. To further its objectives, NATO has also engaged with civil society organizations and non-governmental organizations, NGOs, in Central Asia. These organizations play a critical role in monitoring and exposing Russian disinformation and propaganda campaigns, and they also provide a critical counterbalance to state-run media outlets. NATO has provided funding and technical support to these NGOs, which have worked to investigate and expose Russian propaganda and disinformation campaigns. NATO's efforts to counter Russian propaganda and disinformation in Central Asia have been met with mixed results. Russian propaganda continues to hold considerable influence in the region, and disinformation campaigns have only intensified since the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic. However, NATO's engagement with the local media and civil society organizations has contributed to a more informed public, which can better resist Russian propaganda. Furthermore, NATO's programs have helped to establish a more robust and resilient media sector in Central Asia, which can act as a counterbalance to the influence of Russian state media. In conclusion, Russian propaganda and disinformation campaigns pose a severe threat to global security, and their impact has been particularly severe in Central Asia. NATO's response to this threat has been multifaceted, including increasing its presence in the region, strengthening local media outlets, promoting Western values, and engaging with civil society organizations. While its efforts have not eliminated the threat of Russian propaganda, they have helped to create a more informed public and a more robust media sector in Central Asia, which can better resist the influence of Russian propaganda. NATO's role in countering Russian propaganda and disinformation in Central Asia is essential in maintaining regional and global security.